Thank you.
Wonderful. Right. So hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on the live or later on in the recording. Today in the expert talk, as part of the Heal Yourself Naturally Facebook group, we have the wonderful Tom Paladino, and he is a scalar light researcher. I'm going to read a few words about his bio so that we all on the same page here, and then we'll get started with the conversation. So Tom Paladino is a scalar energy researcher based in Florida. Scalar energy is the fundamental life force found everywhere in the universe, as it is originate from the sun as well as the stars. Chi, prana, om, mana, life force, pyramid energy or 0 point energy are synonymous terms for scalar energy. Tom theorized that all energy in the universe initiates as scalar energy, and that the sun of our solar system, as well as the stars of the universe, are the points of origin, the storehouse for scalar energy. He further theorized that scalar energy is the instructive energy, as the entire universe is instructed by this divine essence. Subsequently, all spiritual, cognitive, emotional, and physical action in the universe is initiated and maintained by scalar energy instructions. Scalar energy provides order in the universe. And this is a wonderful beginning, and I'd love to hear more. So Tom, first of all, welcome. I'm really pleased to have you here. And let's get started. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where it came from, scalar energy, all of these things.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank everybody for their time today. I think this will pique your curiosity, and I believe your time is well spent. I'm in my laboratory. I'm a scalar energy researcher. I work with scalar energy, scalar light. As our hostess has mentioned, that's the energy of the sun and the stars. And why is that important? Well, we're working with the primal cause. We're not working with electricity or magnetism. We're working with the life force energy, the initial energy of the universe. Now, with that in mind, my work is unique. These instruments are unique. So what I have to offer to your audience is a unique approach. In this case, we're going to speak about quantum wellness. So behind me is a miniature star. This is a scalar energy instrument. I'm going to turn my screen a little bit to show the audience. That's the instrument that I work with. Now, notably, there's no moving parts. These are custom built instruments. These are what some people might call Tesla instruments or 0 point energy instruments. And with this energy, 0 point energy or scalar light energy, you can do incredible things with this energy. Okay, so I want to demonstrate really quickly that there's energy that is coming from those Tesla coils. That's where the energy is being amplified and broadcast. I've done this before to show the audience. This is a light bulb that I hold in my hand. It's in its plastic package. If I place that close to the instrument, the light bulb illuminates. So it's under the influence of scalar energy. Okay? Scalar energy is able to pass through a building or pass through the earth or pass through the galaxy unimpeded. Here's an experiment with a wooden board. I place that wooden board by the instrument, and then I can still illuminate the light bulb. So the energy will pass through the wooden board to illuminate a light bulb. Nothing can stop this energy. Okay? So this is the natural energy of the universe. It doesn't come from a power plant. This has nothing to do with the electromagnetic spectrum. So with that in mind, it's a unique science. My approach is unique. This instrument is unique. You've never heard of this before because nobody has this approach. Okay, so we put all of that into context. This is the new science. This is a new and emerging science. We call this quantum healing in application. There's many things you can do with this energy. One of the focuses that I have presently is to work with quantum health with this instrument, energetic health. Okay, so with that in mind, how do I work with this? What do I mean by energetic health? Well, I never work with people. I work with photographs of people. I'm going to hold up my photograph. My photograph has a scalar energy signature or some type of light source on it. My instrument can pick up that signature. So instead of working at the biological realm, we work at the energetic realm, at the realm of intention or the realm of consciousness. All of my work is non physical. I work in the realm of consciousness. This transcends time and space because energy, scalar energy, can transcend the time space continuum. Scalar energy is not subject to time and space. Scalar energy is the cause of time and space. Now, with that in mind, when you send me a photograph, when somebody would email me a photograph, you're not bound by time and space. No matter where you're at, no matter where you live, no matter what time of the day, if I place your photograph inside my instrument, my photograph now is under scalar energy influence. My photograph is being influenced with the same type of energy that can animate a light bulb. So this is the new science. It's all non-physical, in which we work with photographic force fields. I can be in two places at once. And when people send me their photograph, they don't travel to my laboratory. It's their force field or it's their aura that I access. Now we're having a Zoom conversation, and obviously nobody is inside my computer. I am not in your computer. We can share our image by way of a teleconference. Well, I can share your image now with this instrument. So I never work with people. I work with your image, your photograph. Why? Because with scalar energy, a scalar energy instrument can pick up your soul, your mind, and your body on the photograph. What am I getting at? My photograph has my constitution. My soul, mind, and body are found energetically on that photograph.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the new science in which people can teleport, bilocate. They can, if you will, come to my laboratory in substitution by way of their photograph. Never work with people. I work with their force field, their energy field on a photograph. This is the aura. This is the spirit. This is the world of quantum mechanics in which we're beyond the brick and mortar of the universe. We're no longer bound by physical reality. Now we're working with non-physical science. This is the information system. This is Christ consciousness that I've tapped into.
So I want to ask a few questions, if that's all right already. I mean, first of all, I'm curious also to know a little bit about how it all started. And then I want to know a little bit how you're using this, of course, to help healing and how, you know, what someone might feel and all of that. But maybe we'll start from where how did it start? How did it all get started?
I would say I learned from Nikola Tesla and another scientist by name of Hieronymus. Nikola Tesla was the first man to construct a scalar energy instrument, to my knowledge. And he was able over 100 years to demonstrate free energy with his instruments. Another inventor, I never met him, but I met his wife, Galen Hieronymus, likewise was developing scalar energy instruments. And in many ways, my instrument was, if you will, copied from his prototype, Galen Hieronymus. So this is a very narrow field of scientists. Very few men, very few women have ever ventured down this path of scalar energy research to the point of perfecting instruments or perfecting a technique with this energy. I learned from both Tesla and Hieronymus. They were my two teachers. I never met either one, but I read their notes. So, if you will, in that posthumous sense, they were my teachers. Now, this is passed on from one generation to the next. And I want to make that clear. This is not taught by academia. To the contrary, this is shunned by academia. So you have to work with a group of people, a group of scientists who are willing to devote their lives to this. It is, again, it's a very narrow field of research. Very few people have ventured down this path. I have. I think it's time well spent. So that's the backdrop, if you will. Now that I have perfected these instruments, I can do incredible things with them in the quantum field. Now, keep in mind, all of my activity has nothing to do with electricity. I'm working in a different dimension. So what I'm about to present to you cannot be achieved with electricity. I don't work in the electromagnetic dimension. Okay, this is my photograph. My photograph will receive energy to the point of a chakra bouncing. Imagine if I put my photograph close to that instrument, the amount of energy going into that light bulb, illuminating that light bulb, is the identical energy going into my chakras. So again, you don't have to be in my laboratory. Your photograph experiences the energy, your force field. So for 1 hour a day, I place a person's photograph in the instrument and they enjoy that divine light. This is divine energy. Scalar energy is source energy. It's from the sun, it's from the stars. So that's one of the benefits, what I call a chakra bouncing. It's simply a download of white light, divine energy into a person's force field. Now, you put that into context, what does that mean? This is the energy that's corrective. Scalar energy can correct my addictions, my phobias. Some people say they're happier because of scalar energy. Others say that their activity, they're much more in tune, or they're able to concentrate. Or some people go as far as to saying that the chakra bouncing has served to change their perspective in life. They don't procrastinate. They're happier. They have a different attitude. So light is always corrective, instructive. And when I download light into my force field, it will always correct in some way a spiritual matter, cognitive matter, a physical ailment. So to be very clear, I am not the healer, the energy heals. And why is this so spectacular? Because this is not electricity. We're working in a different dimension. And hitherto we've never seen the results to be realized by scalar light application. This is an entirely new field of science. So that's one of the benefits.
And can I ask what got you excited about these at the beginning when you were just studying these, or when you just came across?
Here's another benefit. Now, keep in mind, I only work with photographs. Family. Keelan Hieronymus was the inventor, the U.S. inventor, but I never met him. And at that time, they had a laboratory in Georgia, and I was experimenting with them. And I saw so many incredible feats, so many incredible accomplishments in which they could work with people and improve their diet or improve their mental outlook. How Dr. Hieronymus at one time was working with NASA, and Dr. Hieronymus worked with the astronauts through their photographs. And during the Apollo 11 mission, Dr. Hieronymus and NASA monitored the biorhythms of the astronauts on the photograph. The astronauts are walking on the moon, and he can pick up their biorhythms on a photograph. So I was immersed into this field and into this new science by introduction of the Hieronymus family. Those were my mentors. I was awestruck. I was just awestruck. And to this day, I'm fascinated with the prospect here. I want the world to realize the potential here. I want the world to realize that this technology exists and that we should be utilizing this technology. Now, we'll get into that later, but I'm going to describe another function. There's many functions with this instrument. My website just solely concentrates on quantum health, which is energetic health through the force field, not on a person, through the photographic force field. Now, why do I keep saying that? A photograph cannot have an adverse reaction. I don't work with people. I don't have a biological reaction. When I work with photographs, I never have a Herxheimer reaction or a skin rash or an allergic reaction or a toxic shock, because I'm working in a different dimension. It's not electromagnetic energy. And I don't work with people in person. I work with their force field. This is so crucial to understanding this new concept. When Dr. Hieronymus was working with the Apollo 11 astronauts while they orbited the moon, the astronauts were 250,000 miles away, orbiting the moon and walking on the moon. At least two of them were walking on the moon. Well, obviously, the astronauts were not in his laboratory. So a photograph carries your aura, your force field. Now, way of their photograph, then I can work with 50 people by way of their photograph, or I can work with 5 million people. Earlier in my laboratory, I was working with. So this will be global healing in the quantum realm for the world. It's easy, I mean that, it's easy to work with 500,000 to 1 million photographs with this instrument. It's difficult to take those photographs, but once you have the photographs, it's easy to work with 1 million people.
And how do you know, how do you gauge, I guess, the success rate or what people are noticing?
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so here's I'm going to explain that, but first let me demonstrate how this would work, and then I'll show you some test results. Everything is photographs that I work with. Why photograph? A photograph is a source of light. That's a photograph of the herpes virus. So there's no human interpretation with my work. My work is perfect because I work with energy fields, including photographs. There's no human interpretation. If I took this photograph of herpes and matched it up to my photograph, there's a sharing of information. There's a communication. The herpes virus communicates with my photograph. Those are two sources of light. Sources of light communicate. It's not a biological function, it's an energetic function in the quantum realm. When I place these two photographs in the instrument, again, there's always a download of light. It's scalar light animating both force fields. The instruction by way of this instrument is to look for herpes, the signal of herpes in me. If this instrument can find the signature, the signal of herpes in me, it will destroy the herpes virus. So again, two photographs communicate. Herpes has a signal, I have a signal. Place those two photographs in the instrument. The instrument, the energy, will try to locate herpes as a signal in me. If this instrument finds the herpes virus in me, it destroys it. It reduces it to a state of chaos. The herpes virus ceases to exist. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, and it can only be accomplished with a scalar energy instrument. You cannot do this with electricity. Okay. So the key to my work is not this theory. The key to my work is, do people feel better? Here's a test result. A person, after suffering from herpes for 30 years, this person, after we treated their photograph, we only work with photographs, this person submitted their photograph, their PCR test to us. It's non-detected, no detectable viral load for herpes, none. Here's another PCR test for a person who had herpes for over 30 years. After this individual submitted their photograph to us, no viral load for herpes, no indication for herpes. There's another PCR test. This individual thanks us. This individual lives in Hawaii. After we work with this individual, they have no viral load for herpes. So the list goes on and on. We could do this all day long. Here's somebody who had the shingles virus. After working with this person through their photograph, this person shared their PCR test with us. No viral load for the shingles virus, varicella zoster. So this is very encouraging to us. It's the testimonies, that's the key. Go on.
Sorry, I interrupted, but I was just wondering, so would you say that, I mean, is it instantaneous or is it, do you have to repeat it or how does
Yes.
that work?
Yes, it is. It's instantaneous. Imagine, here's an analogy. If you have a glass in your hand, you throw it down on the floor, it shatters instantly. Well,
Mm.
that's what I believe we're doing with the signal or the herpes virus. We shatter it or we bring it to a state of chaos instantly. Why? This is not a chemical process. A chemical process takes time, usually. It's a function of time. In a scalar energy force field, there's no time. Everything happens instantly.
So what about some illnesses? For example, in my work, when I use the body code, which is also, using energy, it's an energy healing modality. There are some things like psoriasis, for example, that when I work with someone with psoriasis, I clear a lot of pathogens.
Yes.
In this instance, like when I say a lot of pathogens, it can be 30, 40, 100 in one session. How what would that person feel, if he gives you the photo and it works with the scalar energy?
Yeah. Thank you. We have worked with people with psoriasis, eczema. Many times those conditions are accompanied by pathogenic infection, some type of bacterial infection. It only takes one session to identify a bacterium and destroy it. Here's a bacterium that Cutibacterium acnes. This is common with a skin infection.
Hmm.
I just simply place that inside my instrument, one session. In an instant, we will bring to a state of chaos that bacterium, Cutibacterium acnes. And people have told us who have psoriasis that they feel better. And many times people say, well, whatever you did, I no longer have flaky skin. I no longer have those flaky or itchy or rash on my elbows, etc. Why? I'm going to theorize that we scalar energy pinpointed, found, identified the bacterium, and destroyed it, eradicated it. Now, candidly, nobody can prove or disprove what I'm doing. It's still theory. This is a new science. How many people, how many scientists have ever proven that an energy field is on a photograph? I have. It's a scalar energy force field on a photograph. But this is all cutting edge, people. This is new.
This is so fascinating, and and like I said, because I use this similar idea, with the modalities that I use to connect with people and then clear things from their energy field. When I first heard about what you're doing, it's like, wow, we really need to bring this forward because it's so interesting. And when I sent you my picture, I definitely felt I felt lighter. I felt like there was a new energy that wasn't there before, and that was very exciting. And obviously it hasn't gone away, and I know that you work on me daily. So tell us a little bit about how is it, what is the daily work that you do with the people that send you the photos?
Okay, so thank you. Every day people will send us photographs. We have an automatic photograph uploader. People email us photographs. And at the end of the day, we place those photographs on a collage like this. And I actually place the photographs inside the instrument. Now, 1 hour a day, we're working with chakras. We're balancing, we're giving energy to the chakras. Once again, that's an indication of how much energy people are receiving. 1 hour a day, we work with chakras. Another hour a day, we identify pathogens and we eradicate pathogens. I've demonstrated that. And then the remaining part, the remaining 22 hours a day, I haven't just demonstrated this yet, we work with nutrients. We download nutrients. Now, keep in mind, this is energetic. It's not a chemical process, once again. This is a photograph of riboflavin. So what's the point? This has energy. Any photograph of any nutrient has energy, scalar energy. This is a magnified photograph of B2. If I place my photograph side by side that photograph of B2, I enjoy the energy, the scalar energy of B2. So it's not a caloric intake. This has nothing to do, once again, with a chemical process. It's the new science of scalar energy in which the energy found on a photograph, in this case, vitamin B2, can be downloaded into my aura or my force field. This is how I receive my nutrients every day, through photographic energy, through the download of information from my photograph to my photograph. So
Right.
this is the nutrient program, and it works. How does it work? I feel better. I feel very young. No matter what vitamin I have, it always has some type of energy. Beta carotene has energy. If I share beta carotene with myself, I'm enjoying the energy of beta carotene. This is how I receive my nutrients. Through photographs, through force fields specifically.
So what we're saying is that some hours you are identifying and eliminating pathogens and bacteria and stuff like that, and then afterwards you adding nutrients and the good stuff.
Nutrients. Yes, exactly. So 1 hour a day chakra balance. 1 hour a day we identify microbes and remove them. And the remaining 22 hours a day, we're downloading, we're giving the information of nutrients. It's a multi-nutritional approach. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, flavonoids, fatty acids, amino acids. This is how I receive my nutrients. I feel very young. I'm 63 years of age. I feel young. I feel vibrant. Okay? Why? Because I'm constantly downloading energy into myself. Good energy, life abetting energy. I can also download a serotonin by way of a photograph, or dopamine by way of a photograph of dopamine. If I want to be happy, I simply take a neurotransmitter and place it side by side my photograph. So if two people can have a conversation in a room or by way of Zoom, then these two photographs are having a conversation. If I can communicate with your audience by way of Zoom, then I can communicate by way of photographs.
Is there anything that this is working particularly well on, or conversely, something that can't be helped with this method?
If I can photograph a germ, a microbe, I can eradicate it. This is the HIV virus. After we work with people, and I identify through their photographic force field the HIV virus, people share with us their PCR test results. That's a PCR test result. After we work with this person's photograph, they no longer had a viral load for HIV. For years, they were HIV positive. After we work with them, they no longer have a viral load. So what is my point? If I can photograph a germ, a microbe, we can eradicate it. All we need is a photograph to have this instrument identify the microbe and eradicate it. That's rather straightforward. The process is flawless because photographs do not need an interpretation. And the energy will find the signal and reduce it to a state of chaos. So provided I have a photograph of a microbe, the instrument will reduce that photograph to a state of chaos, disassemble it. The HIV virus ceases to exist. It no longer has a signature.
So did you do a lot of work with COVID as well?
Yes, we had great success.
Yeah.
I live in Florida. My family and friends, none of us were sick. Nobody had to go to the hospital because of COVID during the pandemic. Nobody.
Fascinating. That's so interesting. I think what I'll do now is I'll say thank you, and I'll switch off the recording, and then we'll open the floor for questions for anyone who has any. So later on in the chat, I will share with everyone, of course, the free 15 days that you're offering on your website, so people can submit their pictures and experience this for themselves. So for now, for the end of the recording, Tom, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.